Hello, good afternoon, welcome to New Forest Morphs. I'm joined here with Emily, my daughter, who we decided to do a Emily's top 5 holdbacks of 2021. So Emily, you've been coming in and taking good care of these baby hatchlings and trying to get them socialised. What would you say, how do you get these animals socialised? What do you do to help them feel comfortable and less striky?
Just handling.
Just handling them?
Yeah.
So these babies do need a little bit of handling to kind of keep them nice and soft and gentle. The good news is that we've had some fantastic feeding sessions. So virtually all the babies are striking and eating their own food now, and we've got nearly 60 babies to feed each week. And most of them are taking rat fluffs. They are putting on some weight, so we're going to use this video not only to share Emily's top 5, but also to maybe highlight some of the other siblings in those top 5s, so that you can enjoy under the spotlight how they're doing. We'll weigh them in and see how they're doing. Most of the babies have been coming in at about 60 grams when they were born, so let's see how far they're going, and we'll weigh them up and see how they're progressing. We do actually have 2 or 3 snakes that we're still assist feeding, and there are a couple on our last clutch that have yet to take their food. They're striking but not eating at the moment, so we're not going to rush them into assist feeding. We're going to give them another week. If they don't eat next week, then we'll start to assist feed. A lot of the assist feeders that we've been working with are now starting to strike, and the good news is we had on one of our clutches, we did actually have some snakes which had shark mouth, and we were worried whether they could take food, but in actual fact they're all doing pretty good, and we'll give you an update on that clutch. It's a cinnamon pied and pied clutch, and we had 4 babies, and each of them have slightly different disabilities, that but they're eating and growing, which is important. And Emily's actually got one of those in her favourites, which I won't spoil what it is, but we'll start really in reverse order, Emily. So we'll start with number 5, which is you've named her, is it Hella?
Yeah.
So why did you name her Hella?
Because she's
Does she give you hell?
Yep.
We were going to call her Feisty, but we thought, nah, we're going to call her Hella. Basically, in the clutch, we ended up with 5 girls and 1 boy. So the idea was that if we keep them all, like, give them goddess names, the boy is a banana, and the rest of them are all female. So obviously, from that perspective, the daddy, which is Apollo, is if he produces a banana, he's going to produce a boy banana, but everything else has got to be a female. So the nice thing about having a banana that's a male maker is that the other part of the clutch that isn't a banana become females. So we were lucky to only hit 1 banana, and all the rest of them were girls. So why don't we take a look at her. So Emily, do you want to get her out and we'll have a look at her under the spotlight? So there we go. And we've got, just going to zoom in. Now this is one, you can see that she's trying to strike. Now she is, we believe, an Orange Dream Pastel 50% het pied, and she's absolutely gorgeous. Now she's one that strikes but hasn't eaten yet. She's one of the babies I was talking about. And why did you choose her as number 5, Emily?
just because she's angry, so I just
You like a bit of feistiness in your snakes, do you? Do you want to put her under the spotlight and we'll zoom in on her and see how she's looking? So the Orange Dream looks absolutely stunning, and you can see just how bright she is, and you can see that lovely Orange Dream effect. See all the brightness and the cleanliness of the gene. It cleans up the pastel. Well, I think that's a great choice, Emily. She does look beautiful. I'll let you take her out. If in doubt, you can use her. Oh, well done, you're getting her socialised, which is good. So she's number 5. And now we're going to move on to number 4, Emily. Number 4 for you was Costa de Sal, which is our belle. And we'll weigh her in as well. She's number 159. She's a Mocha Mojave, which is part of the belle complex. And she's 100% het for ultra male. And there she is. Now look at the size of her. Isn't she doing well? And she's taken food from week 1 when she was born, so she's probably had about 6 meals in her, and she's nailing rat fluffs at the moment. And why is she your number 4, Emily?
just always loved bells. I think they're really pretty.
Yeah, we love her. And it's our first female bell in our collection, and we've got 2 with her sister. And if we were to show her sister, you'll see that she's about half the size of her, because she took an extra couple of weeks to start feeding. And you can get Nesta out and just contrast the 2. And let's just see how that's looking. So there we go. Can you see the difference in size? Why don't you put them both under the light box, and then we'll weigh them together individually, and then we'll just contrast the size. So in they go, and they're looking really, really lovely, aren't they? We'll zoom in on those. They're beautiful. Lovely. One looks pinker than the other. They are gorgeous, Emily. And they are enjoying being together. They're quite well socialised, because you do handle them a lot, so do I. And it's important to handle your animals as much as you can if they want to be handled. Emily's going to weigh the Costa, which is your number 4. And what do you think she weighs?
She's 168.
168, so she's almost tripled her weight from birth, so she's 3 times the size she was from birth. So she's doing incredibly well, Emily, and she loves her food. She's nailing rat fluffs. She wants to stay with you. Look, she wants to play with you. It's quite funny, isn't it? So, and we'll put the other one back.
Are you weighing her or leaving her?
You can weigh her. Now remember, she took an extra couple of weeks to get going, so I'll be impressed if she's hit 100.
She's 96.
She's 96, so she's 70 grams lighter than her sister, and she's only had two or three meals less than her sister. But she's progressing nicely, so that's really doing well. So that's number 4, Costa. So number 3, Emily, what are you going for number 3? You're going to go for the leopard albino? Well, we're not sure if it's leopard, but we think it might be. We'll see how this little boy's doing. Now he's had about 4 meals, 5 meals. And he was assist fed to start with, and then he went straight onto food the following week, which was wonderful. And Jaz's been taking good care of him. And he's got lovely, beautiful red eyes. Why is he your number 3, Emily?
I just really like albinos.
Yeah. Beautiful animal. And he's 100% heifer pied. And can we contrast him with another leopard that we've got? Another albino? Because if you get out the boy that we're putting on albino 100% het clown, this is Yazoo. Now Yazoo's about 700 grams. He's last year's baby. And can you see the contrast in patterns between the two? It's interesting, isn't it? So that's why we think there could be leopard in the one and a straight albino in the other. But beautiful animals, we do like them a lot. And he's almost ready for breeding. He's close to 700. We've got some more rubs coming, and he'll be moving up shortly. He's nailing food. He's taking rat wieners. And this little fella here is taking rat fluffs. So let's weigh him and then put him in the light box. I'm going to say he's getting close to 90 grams, is what I'm guessing.
90 exactly. Or
Okay.
91.
91. So there we go. So he's put on about 30 grams, which is good. Let's have a look at him in the light box. And he is beautiful. I can see why he's number 3 for you. He is lovely. I love the red eye and I love the markings on him. Beautiful snake. And he was born very small because he came out of a very small egg. I think he only weighed about 35 to 40 grams. So he's up to 90, so he's doubled his body weight in about 5 weeks, which is really, really good. So we're really, really pleased with how he's doing. There we go. Beautiful animal. Powerhouse going forward. So that's Emily's number 3. So we're now moving up to the number 2 and number 1, Emily. So number 2, who are you going for your number 2?
This one.
That is Haribo, is it?
Yeah.
And Haribo is a, what is he?
Is banana spider het clown.
Banana spider 100% het for clown, and I can see why you've chosen him. Look at those yellow highlighting on his eyes. Look at the head stamp as well, just how pretty that is. See if I can get that into focus. There we go.
in the
You want to put him in the light box? Might be better to put him in the light box. We'll see him popping even more. Oh yeah. He is beautiful. And look at his lovely, lovely markings. All the way down his back, he's got those beautiful spider markings, which is, and the het clown is having an influence as well, brightening up the whole animal. And the head stamp is amazing.
I'll get it before it goes behind there.
Yeah, okay, let's weigh him up. What do you think he's going to weigh in at?
Not sure.
I'm going to guess he's over 100 grams, is what I'm guessing. 120 maybe?
122.
122, lovely. So he's putting on good weight. So that is your number 2, which is Haribo. And why don't you get out
Is that inside?
Yeah. Do you want to get out his brother, which I think
Turbo, I think
took
he's
a little
in
bit
shed.
longer. He's in shed.
Yeah.
He took a little bit longer to get going, I think. Actually, no, I think he was pretty good at getting going on the food side.
He's in
So you
shed
can see
today.
he's in shed. We just give him a quick weigh and see what he weighs. He's 127, so he's actually bigger than his brother. So we'll show him off properly when he's out of shed. So those two are good. Now we're moving across to number 1, Emily. What's your number 1 choice? And Emily's chosen the girl, and she's part of 4 in the clutch. Her name is
Rusty.
Yeah, and why is she your number 1 snake?
Because she has no eyes.
Because she has no eyes. And she's a no-eye ball python.
Pike, yeah.
Yeah. And she's amazing. And I've been assist feeding her. Jad's had the week off, so I've been feeding everything over 3 days and spreading it all out because it's a big collection, just to make my life a little bit more enjoyable. And when I assist fed her, because she's blind, she's smelling her food. She came up and she nailed the food, wrapped around it, but she couldn't find the head of the rat pup, or the rat fluff I gave her, and she left it there. And I went back and I represented it to her again with some assist feeding, and this time she got the head of the rat into her mouth and she managed to get it in there. So even blind snakes can grow on nicely, and she's a beautiful, beautiful
I mean, they
pied.
use their nose like to smell anyway.
And their heat pits as well. Do you want to put the should we weigh her? What do you think she weighs, Emily? I'm going to say she's what, 75 maybe?
I was going to say 80. Yeah.
80? 66. Yeah. So it was good because she got down to about, I think she was, again, only about 45 grams, so she's starting to put on weight. And there she is in the light box. And this is Emily's number 1 favourite snake, which is so good that she's taking good care of this lovely animal and loves it very much. And it's become her pet, so it's unfortunate that she's got no eyes, but she's still very pretty pied. Look at the intensity and brightness of her colours, and I think that's why you called her Rusty, because she's quite a rusty look, isn't she, Emily? That's lovely. Do you want to show off any of her siblings as well while we're at it, to see how they're progressing? Because all 4 of them were slightly had some slight defects to them, but
Shark mouth.
yeah, shark mouth. So this one I assist fed this week and it rejected. This is the most of all the deformed animals that we've got here, and let's just show the shark mouth. It's quite severe, so keeping as a pet. And the problem was, when I was assist feeding, because the mouth isn't fully formed, it's very easy to spit it out. But look at the patterns on it. It's got 3 for a cinnamon pied. The back patterns on it are lovely, aren't they? Let's put her in the spotlight and just see what she looks like. So I think Jared's given her 1 assist that she's kept down. I had a go while he's been away this week, and she had 2 attempts but didn't keep it down, unfortunately. So there you go. So Jared will be back on helping her out next week. Give her another try and see if we can get her on food. Thank you, Emily. We'll put her back and then we'll do an update on the other 2 siblings, see how they're doing. Wonderful. So the good news is the other 2 are strike feeding without being assisted. Jared assisted Chewy and Dusty, and I fed them this week and they didn't need assist feeding because they struck and ate. It was a very patient waiting game, but eventually they sensed it and honed in on it. And there you go. So that's Chewy, who
Got a bit of stuck shed as well.
bit of stuck shed on its tail. We'll have to sort that out. But Chewy's actually putting on weight, and we can probably weigh her. Should we weigh her, Emily?
Yeah.
Just see what she weighs.
66.
66, same
Same
as
as
Rusty.
Rusty.
So they're probably eating together, similar style. Let's have a look at her under the spotlight.
Just hiding a bit.
She's a bit shy. You going to come out and show us your beautiful head pattern? Are you? There she is. So another beautiful cinnamon pied. And she's got a very small shark mouth, but we don't think it's going to be anything to be concerned about, so she probably will have a normal life. And she is striking and eating, which is wonderful. So do you want to put her back, Emily?
Sure.
Yeah. And then the last one is Dusty. So we've got Rusty, Patsy, Chewy and Dusty, all part of the same clutch. And this one also strike fed and slowly getting bigger. And again, this is another cinnamon pied. So we were very lucky with the odds. We hit a lot of cinnamon pieds. We should have only hit 2, but we actually hit 3. And I'm really happy with this little one. I say you had to be patient, but she did strike feed. And again, I'm going to guess that she's probably close to 55 to 60 grams. We'll weigh her and see. 59. So doing well. She was out of the boob egg as well. So coming from a boob egg and being up with her sisters is pretty good going. Little bit shy. Are you going to come out for us? There we go. She is just a little bit shy, but beautiful animal. So there's an update on that clutch. So they're all progressing, eating at different rates, but they are putting on weight. And now, Emily, I'm going to pass you back the camera so I can just pick out a couple of my favourite snakes as well. So thank you, Emily, for your top 5. My top 5 are similar to your top 5, but I was going to just show you how we're going to call him Cornelius, which is the super pastel banana 50% pet pied. Could have on the stream and have possible on the stream, but there he is. He is nailing food, and you can see him putting on some good weight. He's very purple. So what we'll do is we'll weigh him, and let's just see how much he weighs. Are you coming out? There we go, fella. There you go. Let's see how much he weighs. 102. So he's putting on great weight. And let's have a look at him in the light box. So he's one of my favourite holdbacks. Let's have a look and zoom in on him, Emily. Tell me what your thoughts are. Looking good?
Mm-hmm.
He's a lovely animal, isn't he?
Yeah.
Really like him a lot.
Oh.
But he likes to explore. Have you got him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done, well done. So we'll put him back. So he's doing well, 102. So he's put on some good weight, and he's nailing rat fluffs. So really pleased. You always worry when your babies are hatched whether they're going to go on food. They don't always go on straight away. But and look, he wants to he wants to come and play. So we've done that one. The butter, Betty, give you an update on her. So she's doing really well. You can see that she's putting on weight, and she weighs, I'm guessing, close to 100 grams. So we'll just put her carefully. She might strike me, so I'm just going to carefully bring her into the weighing machine. 105. So she's doing really well. Let's put her in the light box, Emily, see how she looks. She's doing well. Beautiful colours on her. I love the lesser. Isn't she lovely?
She's gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah, so there's Betty, our little butter girl. And we'll slip her back. And then the other ones I was going to show you was, let's have a look. We've got the clown clutch. Now the one I was going to show you, which I think is putting on great weight, she is in shed. But this little girl we've called Linnea is pounding food, and she ate virtually a day after coming out of her first shed. and I think she's going to weigh well over 100 grams. She's good size, isn't she?
Yeah.
I'll just make sure that she's not going to bite me. Come on, girl. Oh, look, look, she's hissing. There you go, Emily. Take it from the back. There we go. Let's all hiss. And so what is she? 140, 151. That is fantastic, isn't it?
She's hissing because
We'll
she's
put her
shedding,
back.
so.
Yeah, we'll put her back because she is going through a shed process. But it just goes to show that when they start pounding food, they start to put on weight. So she's 151, doing really well. And let's compare that with her sister Lucky, who ate a week later. Let's see what she's weighing. The nice thing is Jared is getting them all on. This one's not in shed. Let's just see. She's looking lovely. She's 111, so she's about 40 grams less than her sister Linnea. But she's not in shed at the moment and she's looking absolutely stunning. Isn't that lovely, Emily?
Mm.
She's beautiful, isn't she?
Yeah.
I really like her a lot. Maybe come out a little bit, get the whole picture of her in. Lovely. And then go in a bit more. Lovely. She's absolutely gorgeous. So we feel really blessed to have a couple of clown girls in there. And they're all doing really well. And then her brother Ezekiel, who's another clown boy, he was really slow to feed and he had his first meal last week. And let's see how he's doing. You'll see he'll be smaller than his sisters, but let's just see how he's doing. There is Ezekiel. See how he's weighing. 78. So a little bit behind his sisters, but he'll get going and looking beautiful. There we go. So I think that's all the updates on the baby hatchlings. We've got some eggs in the incubator that are doing well, and I checked those to make sure that the temp's all good. Just put Ezekiel back. That's his hide back. So yeah, we've got eggs in the incubator. They're due in November, so that's exciting. If you notice, the humidity is at 62%, which I'm really pleased. And since we've got the humidity dialed in, we fed over the last, well, Jazz been away, so I've been feeding over 3 days to break it up. So Wednesday, virtually all the babies fed, and we're feeding close to 65, 70 hatchlings. So if you think about that, if only 2 out of those didn't feed, it really does show how humidity and assist feeding, once they get going, the babies start to feed. It is a little bit scary in your first year when you haven't fed babies, but I think as you get into the swing of these things, it becomes much more natural. You don't panic as much. You wait for them to get their appetite up, because they've been living in those eggs. They've got big egg reserves inside them. So just because they're not eating straight away doesn't mean to say they won't eat. It just means we've got to be patient, and then once our patience gets to the point where they're not taking food, probably 3 weeks, in my opinion, about 3 weeks after they've come out, we'll assist feed them, and when they assist feed, they normally then get into the feeding routine. Not in every case, some take a bit longer. So we've only got 2 hatchlings that we need to get on food. Hopefully next week they'll be up for it. They're striking but not wrapping and eating, so that's a good indication. Obviously we've got another 6 babies that will be coming later in the year, so we'll see how that goes. And I think that really is about it, Emily. So thank you, Emily, for sharing the top 5. Thank you everyone for joining us on our journey, and we hope everyone has a great weekend, and we will catch you soon. Bye bye for now.